Reading comprehension tricks. Learn tips and tricks for reading comprehension through this article. One question that constantly plagues every student's mind is how to improve in reading comprehensions. You have to admit, reading comprehension questions are a tricky ball game. RC passages can be time consuming, energy sapping, and information intensive. On the other hand, the rewards they offer are RC passages can be time consuming, energy sapping, and information intensive. On the other hand, the reward they offer are fascinating. If you grasp a passage well, you should be able to get more questions in a single passage, correct? And this means you gain quite a few marks by solving one set of questions. At the best of times, you are likely to find a passage that you have never read previously. One of the most significant factors for solving reading comprehensions and being accurate in this area actually revolves around the approach you adopt for this topic. How do you cope with such a challenge actually becomes a central aspect of how you perform in reading comprehensions. While ensuring that you strike a fine balance for this area, it is important that you keep a number of things in your mind and ensure you do not fall into the common pitfalls. With regards to the approach you should adopt for reading comprehensions, keep the following points in mind. Do not overemphasize trivialities. Details are important, but don't be obsessed with examples, illustrations, and so on. You just need to get a hang of the main point and not the examples. Comprehending overall flow and structure will help you analyze and answer the questions. Do not memorize. You do not need to memorize every word present in the passage. Understanding the flow, structure, and the main point in the passage should be your priority. For the factual or specific point questions, you can always reread the passage. Do not read the passage first. Always go through the questions first and then the passage. This will prepare you to focus on the things you need to look in the passage. Focus only on the questions and not on the particular answer option. A quick review of the questions is sufficient. Do not overemphasize on the vocabulary skills for RCs. Having a strong vocabulary is great, however, having Shakespearean vocabulary will not prevent you from understanding the passage. So, do not put yourself under stress in this area. And while reading the passage, make sure that you understand the gist of the passage and do not get stuck on the particular words. Do not spend time on RCs that you cannot comprehend at first. At times, we come across a passage that we are not able to comprehend. If you are struggling with one such passage in the exam, make sure you have the patience to avoid such a passage. Focus on the ones that you can manage easily. Go back to the tricky passage in case of absolute necessity. Do not think the correct option would come from outside the passage. Any of the options that is out of scope is never the correct answer. The right answer is always based on the information given within the passage. Do not focus on any of the options that distract you from the passage. Do not rely on trigger words. You might get trapped in the web of trigger words. If you don't read attentively through the passage, a passage may focus on one point for quite a bit of sentences and then change it towards the end with trigger words like but or however. This will usually confuse readers who skim through the passage or rush through it in haste. Make notes. While reading obscure or abstract text, make sure you make some quick notes for ready reference. You can write a general flow, structure, paragraph, voice flow, and important points. Remember that you do not have make really long notes. Just make a quick note of important marker or points in the passage. Try to print questions. This is really difficult skill, but if you can master this, you will surely be the king of reading comprehensions. While reading the passage, try to identify the possible questions that could be asked and which part of the passage seemed the most likely candidates for the question setting. Opening and closing paragraphs require extra focus. Questions such as the main idea questions are based on the overall subjects of the passage, and majority of the times the answer for this question type lies in the first and last paragraph of the passage. Ensure you derive the maximum possible information from these passages. Constantly question yourself while reading the passage. In order to maintain your concentration while reading, make sure that some basic questions keep playing at the back of your mind. What is the author's main point? Why is the author writing this? How has the author chosen to convey his main point? How has the author organized his material? Finally, don't expect to be stimulated. In fact, expect the opposite. Majority of the times, you would be bored by the RP's topics, and you should not allow this to drain your energy. Maintain an impartial attitude towards the passage, and do not get mentally hassled by obscure content. The above form some of the basic points that should be kept in mind while approaching reading comprehensions. These would improve your focus, increase your grasp of the subject matter, and deliver greater understanding. If you achieve these, your task is more or less done. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to press bell icon. Thank you. Bye.